Hey guys, this is Heretic, and this is the Golem update for December 6, 2020. Before we get started, if you like videos on King of Avalon and mobile gaming topics, and you'd like to see me do more of them, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on this video, and add a comment on things you'd like to see. This week we'll not be doing a versus or a 5 and 5. We're actually just going to run through the basic setup for everybody and kind of talk through it a little bit more than I have in the past. So we're going to start with the buffs you need. So the first buff you'll need is go to City Buffs, add the attack, the best attack that you have and the best march that you have, the march capacity. The goal is to get your attack power, which is your troop stats, right? So the one that's important here is your troop attack. The other one is your march capacity. The more soldiers you have out there fighting, the higher damage you'll do, right? So whatever you can do to increase the amount of troops that go out in the attack and the highest, best attack, especially troop attack, your cavalry attack, and your bowman attack are the three things that matter here. You won't be using siege, you won't be using infantry. We're going with a crit march. I think we've proven it over the past few weeks that the crit march is what's going to get you the best bang for the buck. That being said, if you have no crit, it's super low, it's under 20%, then you can possibly use one of the Golem formation calculators that are out there. I'll link a couple in the comments so that you have that to go with, but if you're above 20%, use the crit, you'll see good things with it. Alright, so those are your first two buffs, right? The other buffs you need to work on, if you can get a Dragon Blade, that would be great, but the one that you need most, even more important, is the Crown of Command, which is 2,000. Obviously, this setup that I'm doing is to get the absolute maximum amount of damage that you can do on Golem. This also works on your Alliance Hunt and on the upcoming dragon battles that we'll have later on. Alright, so anything that you attack that doesn't hit you back. So it's not going to work on the castles, right? Because the castles, they're actually hitting you back. So you're going to need infantry, and you're going to need more cav than I'll typically put into my marches to get the, to protect your damage dealers, right? That's the reason that you have infantry, is to protect everyone else. They take the damage that your other troops would get. But in Golem, the Golem's not actually hitting you, so they don't really matter, right? Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is your Library of War, your tomes, your war tomes. I don't, for my level, I really don't have enough, and it's something that I will be working on. I've been working on power, the number of troops that I have overall lately. I'm going to be switching over to war tomes and focusing on that a little bit. So you want to go here, I'm going to reset. This is specifically for a damage dealing setup and not my so I want to go all bowman and cav. Right, so I want arrows of vengeance and I want drums of war. Someone in the comments said that only arrows of vengeance applies. I haven't tested it. I haven't heard any stats that back up that claim. So I'm going to just continue with what I'm doing. I'm only going to put 10 into cav. Everything else will go into bow. I'm using mostly tier 12 and tier 11, with a little bit of tier 9 and tier 10 bow, and tier 11 and tier 12 on the cav. Alright, so I still have 30 left. So in this setup, I'm going to use 40 tomes in bow and 10 in cav. And we'll see how we do. Alright, let's get our 10 in cav, which will be Defiant Charge. Transfers defense over to your attack. Alright, so we have that set up. Alright, all of them are used. I'm sorry, and I said 40-10, it's actually 50-10. So I'm using Arrows of Vengeance full. My tier 12, tier 11, tier 10, and tier 9 are full. If I didn't have enough to do this, I would start out, this is the priority, Arrows of Vengeance, because that's for all types of bowmen. And then I would go to my highest, would be the next. So if you don't have tier 12 and you have tier 11, start with your tier 11. You'll actually see a ton of damage from your tier 11, so don't otherwise, and then go your tier 10 and your tier 9 after that, if you have enough. Okay, so the next thing that you'll want to do is you'll want to make sure that you have your swap set up for your hero council as well. And this is really critical because it's going to raise the number of troops that you can actually send out, which again, the two top things is attack power and the number of troops you send. So you're going to want Sir Gawain in there. As soon as you send the march out, and you'll see this, you'll want to do a switch over to your normal hero. For me, it's Maddock, but it could be one of your other heroes. You know, your best one that fits in here. You know, it could be Oberon, right? So you want your Sir Gawain in there because he's going to give you more march capacity, right? Which is huge. Okay, and okay, so now we have our war tomes, we have our heroes set up, we have our crown of command on, we have our city buffs on. You want your talent. So this is the last thing that you'll want to add is your Colossal March. You want to activate that. Do that once you're ready to send. We're not going to do it yet because there's one other thing that you're going to want to do before you actually start attacking. You're going to want to give yourself enough room between you and Golem so that you can actually do the switch in time before the blow lands. So you want to look in your territory and find a spot that, 30 seconds is pretty darn good. That's enough time to do your switch, but it's not so much time that this whole process takes forever. So let's see where we are right here. So to test that, I move a little bit further away. I know I'm using a port. Kingdom threat, attack, can hit my attack. Over here, this is 22 seconds. And I want to go just a little bit further away. And this is really overkill, guys. This is Heretic being crazy. But, maybe I am. I'm going to go down here, do the same thing. Alright, 44 seconds. You know what? I want to be a little bit closer. So yeah, extra crazy today. Alright, let me pick over here, because I know the forest is in the way, which is adding a little bit. But let's see if this gets me closer to a happy medium. Alright, so I want to get as close to 30 seconds, and then, do this once, and then for next time. 26, that's good enough. We're going to stick with 26 seconds. Alright? So next we're gonna go ahead, now that we have the distance away, we have the Crown of Command on, we have Sir Gawain in the council appointed, we have city buffs applied, we have we have the War Tome set. So what am I missing? So the other thing that I'm missing here, and this is super critical, is on go to Appearance on your castle, go to Accolade. And so within here, you'll see these that are Labyrinth, right? So there's 4 different Labyrinth frames that you can pick, accolades that you can pick. So you want to make sure that you buy them from, and you know, these are free. These are, you get these from, you can buy these with the points that you get off of your Labyrinth. So you go to Exchange, scroll down, and there are these, right? So you get each one of these, you buy them, and they'll go to your pack. There's 2 different ways. You can go within, to apply them, there's 2 different ways. You go into Appearance, go to Accolade, you'll see them with a little bubble on it with an unlock, and you can click them to unlock it. So that's probably the easiest way. The other way is you can go into your pack and click them and use them, and then they get applied here. But before you start off on your Golem attacks, make sure you have them. The ones that are important are the bow, the cav, and the troop. The infantry one, we're not using infantry, so it doesn't really matter. I do it out of habit and have it going. And so what these do is they actually increase the amount of damage this is done. So if you know anything about stats, so the attack stat that you get is great, right? The damage, the plus to damage on the attack is even more important. So it's almost 10 times over the number that it has. So if you have 3,000 bowman attack, but you have no damage increase, the output that you're going to get on PvP and on Golem and other things is going to be low compared to someone that has maybe 2,000 bowman attack, but then they have, you know, a high maxed out bowman damage, plus damage. So the plus damage is critical. So anywhere you can get that, which is, right, there's a few different places. So for bowman, for example, you would actually get it on your Watchtower. So you go to Prestige, and it's here. Once you get over 30, it will max out at 145.5. That's one place. The other place that you get it is on your Dragon skills. Let's go to your Dragon skills. And over here you have bowman damage increase. So everything that you can do to increase that, like it maxes out, the level maxes out at 31, but you can actually evolve it and get more. So I can technically get more. Once I get to, you know, 7-star or 8, it will actually increase that even more. So my damage will go up quite a bit more. So whenever you're looking at people and looking at those battle reports, that's where you're getting those. That and your lab. So the weird thing about the lab is, you know, a lot of people think that it's the one that you have applied is the one that's gonna, you know, the frame that you have set is what is actually working for you, and they're very mistaken. So as you play, the longer you play, like if you're in an older kingdom, you'll have a ton of these opened frames, accolades. All of these apply. So this 5% applies forever. I have this. The longer you play, the older the kingdom that you're in, the longer that you've played the game, the more of these frames you're going to get, and all of these totals add up. You used to be able to see it, there was a little informational up here, and you could see that they were all applied. They removed that, you know, about 4 months ago. So in, you know, July or August, they actually removed that from the client. I hope they add it back. But it doesn't matter what you have applied. All of these, you know, the one that you're set doesn't matter, but all of these are actually working for you. So as you go and you accumulate, all of those are going to actually work for you. Your attack, you know, all of these things are working together. They all add up. I don't know how another way I can say that that's easier to understand, but they all add up. They're very worth, you know, having. So anywhere you can get those. There's also the weekly one. I'm not going to do that now, that you can buy, and you get 10% troop attack, 10% defense, and 10% health for troop. I'm not doing that for Golem. It costs money, so I'm not going to do that now. So now I have all my buffs applied. I'm far enough away from all of them but one, and I'm far enough away from the Golem that I can actually do my switch in time, and you'll see why that's important. So now the very last two things that I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the Colossal March, which adds just another 10%. You know, everything that you can get, you know, anything you can do to increase the amount of troops that are actually going to attack Golem is better, right? More is better here. So I'm going to activate it. It's only good for 30 minutes, so I don't want to do it early enough, you know, so early in this process that then I run out of time before I've done my 10th attack on Golem. So I'm going to activate that. And next I'm going to go to my march. So go to Training Grounds, you know, click into your march. And you see I have 582. So I want to fill in. So what I'm going to do here, because I'm adding this one last, is I'm going to fill in right on my cav. So I have, you know, 65k here, 226k on my bow, 37k on my tier 11 cav, 188,000. I'm actually going to adjust this a little bit. I'm going to go down to 200k here. And there's a thing called diminishing returns. So the more troops that you have in one tier type, the less effective that they'll be overall. So I want, yeah, that's fine. And I'm gonna max this guy out because I don't have a lot of tier 11 there. He's okay, and I'm gonna just top off here. So I think we're good. Let me go back and I want to show you one thing. So I have 65.7k cav, like 205k bow, 46k cav on tier 11, cav tier 11 bow. I have 200k, and then I have the rest in tier 10 and in tier 9. So I'm going to save that so you can see what I'm using. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. You know, maybe I should have, I just don't have them right now. More tier 9 bow would probably make a difference. Maybe I should put more into cav. I have a setup that I like. If you saw the two heroes that I have here, 4, both of these guys are going to give me a big buff on my bowman attack, and that's why I go super heavy bow. If your overall stats of cav are a lot higher than your bow, you might want to switch up your heroes to give you a little bit more attack on with your cav rather than your bowman. So this is what I'm using here, right? So this guy will you know, give me 6,100, and this one will give me 1,700, and decrease the defense. Dendrain's to me is the very best attack hero, and Brutus for me is right behind that. Okay, so now we can go ahead and we can start that attack. Go to the event center, kingdom threat, attack. And I'm going to show you the swap out. So you want to select your march and hit your march. Go quickly over to heroes. This is the first one you want to do. And of course everything is super slow for me right now. You want to go to appoint heroes, swap out to Matic, close that out. Then you want to switch over to your Dragon Blade. Right, plenty of time. I'm not stressed. Click out. I still have, look at that, I got it in with a second to go. Right, amazing. Okay, so now you want to do your switch back, and you want to do this 10 times. So we're going to let it go 10 times. Listen to some music. You know, go ahead and hit subscribe while you listen to the music. Tell me if you like a different type of music. You know, speak up in the comments. Tell me what you want.
Funhouse active, yeah, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down. I keep it 100, they crunching the numbers, I'm bringing out. Young nigga got a fetish for success. If I ain't next, and I just leave impression. Next to rain on the window pane, puffin' plain Jane. Let them second guess me, wanna cop the Porsche with the porcelain skin. Grip the wheels, let the horses just why they trash, another chore on my list. Out of this orbit, I soar with the pen. I'm eating good, Miss Caloric as shit. I sipped the potion and poured it. I on the tide when she poured it. Opportunity, knock at the door, then I grin. They rush for the doors, then they open like bliss. Pin stroke, game cold as the fridge. Sound wave for like more than the clicks. Cowboy bungers hurt the word for my shit. Ayy. Been gritty, don't pity, they full thing with me, been real, fuck trending, I'm hype, I'm litty, been this since scrimmage, don't play game with me, I volley these hits like I play tennis, I drink this shit, nah, I live it, don't pitch me, I live pill at the top of the titty, said I run this shit, how I jot it with the pistol, why they flop with the vision, jaw drop, when I spit it off top, little bitch, need at least 7 figures, catch the fade when they chip me, bet I'll count it down to the penny wave, ay, heavy is all on my mind, I've gotta make that end it, wave, bet I might spark that wildfire, rebel, when I breach, funhouse active, yeah, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down, I keep it 100, they crunching the numbers, I'm bringing out, funhouse active, yeah, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down, I keep it 100, they crunching the numbers, I'm bringing out, I just might crash it, really I'm passive, running for the match. Cash me, I just want passion, law of attraction, let me live that shit. I just might crash it, really I'm passive, running from the mash. Cash me, I just want passion, law of attraction, let me live that shit. Charge on its last light. Same clothes I'm from last night. Still lit like it's last night. Young living in the fast life. Young. Smoke cloud from the hash pipe. Catch air from the half pipe. I need a centerfold from the shows with the mansion. Chandelier dancing. Counting a Branton. Yeah. Been had hella Franks, man, it's ballpark figures. Might be in the field, but I came from the trenches. You can tell it's my time, look at better squint. I do like the charm on my wrist, let me glitch. Want me pay the way, I'm the wave, I'm authentic. Sitting courtside, got a sprain. Nigga, I run the gang for the gang. Nothing but a thing when I sing. Young Usain, I sprint it. Getting fresh prints. Counting a blessing on blessing on blessing. They call me the reverend, y'all nigga play too much. I've been so gone off the praises, I end my hiatus by sparking that flame. Shit, y'all niggas stay in your lane, young entertain. I'm next to rain, the fuck is you saying? Out of my brain, not from this planet. Hide from the cameras, high up the energy sent to me. From the enemy, that's the advantage. By doing this damage, accounted advantage. I buy you my nemesis. This is my genesis. I never had privilege. They took our innocence, but fuck that, I'm young and I'm wild, going ignorant like funhouse active. King of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight. Yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down. I keep it 100, they crunching the numbers, I'm bringing out. Funhouse active, yeah, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight. Yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down. I keep it 100, they crunching the numbers, I'm bringing out. Funhouse active. Life is what you make it, my shit been amazing. I can't see a way out, I've been stacking face down off canvases I painted. I just spent the rain day on shit I can't afford, but that's the price I pay for the memories I'm making. I've been going places, I've been shaking hands for a chance to really make it. This life is so abrasive, so I almost gave it. All this shit I'm laying, it's only the foundation. I've been going crazy, just trying to find a way. I was in the basement, trying to turn the page. I was going through the phase.
Okay, so that's the 10 attacks. Let's see how we did. Click the Golem. Did 304, ranked number 1 so far this week. It's one of the higher, probably the highest that we've had so far in this kingdom. But, you know, it's a competition. There's 3 or 4 people towards the top, and we kind of trade off on the amount of damage that we do. I know DMT is not going to crazy means to maximize his damage on this. So, you know, he fails. He gets number 2 for that. All right. That's all right with me. Again, the things to focus on here is the troop attack, your bow attack, your cavalry attack, your troop plus damage, you know, your bow plus damage, and your cav plus damage. So anything you and the number of troops, even more important, the number of troops that you can actually send out to Golem. If you want to win it in your kingdom, if you focus on those things, go in, you know, have over 20% crit, do all the things that I did here, there's a really good chance that you'll end up towards the very top of your leaderboards. Again, you know, if someone has T13, all bets are off there, right? You're probably going to always come in behind them, even if they're not putting in a big effort, just because of the amount of damage increase for those types of troops. So the higher tier level, the more damage you'll do overall as well, right? And as you increase, one of the things I didn't show, and I want to show it here real quick. This is for over 40. You know, as KOA is kind of making it a little bit easier. I know it takes some time. We're kind of a fairly new kingdom. It takes time to hit 40 without putting in a lot of cash, right? But once you do, when you increase your troop buildings, let me show you something here. You'll actually get some damage increases here as well. So they're small at first, but they get bigger as you go. When you get to 45, you'll see that. So if you have 45s you're competing against, it's already pretty unfair, right? They'll have some T13s you won't have, and they'll have this damage increase. This is the same thing that'll show up on the bow, and the same thing is on infantry. So just another thing to consider here. Again, please subscribe. Tell your friends. You know, push your alliance to come out and view. I'll be doing another PvP strategy video soon, and I'll be updating the marches that we actually use now. Same thing on Netherfall. I'll be doing a Netherfall kind of strategy session. We faced some really incredible opponents over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I really want to steal one of their strategies. So I'll show that in one of the videos that are coming. Some of the other videos that I'll be doing, I'll probably be releasing tonight or tomorrow a video on how I set up my BlueStacks on my PC and on my Mac to be able to do these videos and just to be able to play the game. I have it actually hooked up to a TV, so I get to see, you know, KOA in all its glory at 55 inches, which actually helps out a lot. You know, it's a little bit different playing. There's benefits, there's pros, and there's cons for playing on your PC or your Mac. One of them is it's harder to scroll than it is on your phone, because on your phone you can just swipe real fast, but on your PC and your Mac you can't really do that in a way that actually makes sense. But I'll be doing more videos. I'll also be doing some videos on comparing different games. So the very first one that I'm going to do this week is comparing Guns of Glory and King of Avalon. They're owned by the same company. There's a lot that's exactly the same, like KVK, it's exactly the same. But there's some other things that are in Guns of Glory that are better, and there's some things that are worse, like the chat. But anyway, that's a preview of some of the stuff that I'll be doing this week. Tell your friends, subscribe, add comments to other things that you'd like to see. Also have a Discord server. You can go in there. You can reach me pretty much, you know, within a reason, 24/7. Add some comments. There's a few people there that'll help out and answer. I'll add that into the comments, the link to that. I'll add a link to a Golem formation calculator for anyone who has below 20% crit. and I'll pay attention to the comments like I always do. So let me know what you'd like me to do different. So any kind of video content that you'd like to see, and anything else you just want to chat. All right. Have a great week.